Good morning. It's good to have you join us on Nigeria Now, showing on your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS Television. My name is Merciful Ajinomo. Of course, it's the beginning of a new week, and we have Adebayo Fajimi join us in studio to analyze some stories. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm very well.
All right, there are a couple of headlines that made the rounds this morning on Nigerian dailies. We begin from the leadership newspaper. The big story is 2023. Finally, Osinbajo joins presidential race, raising stake to new level. That story is on page 4. We have two riders. The first VP to ride on deep bond relationships with state governors, astute politicians across party divide, host APC governors to Iftar at Izaguda resident. Of course, we know how long this has taken. The sitting vice president of Nigeria coming to contest in the presidential election. What do you think about it?
Of course, firstly, we need to know that democracy is a big tent, and it harbors all manner of people, carpetbaggers, scoundrels, and even Democrats. And also, we need to understand the fact that we are in a democracy, and that democracy gives right to eligible citizens to vote and to be voted for in any electoral process. So, Professor Yemi Osibajo, is a citizen of Nigeria, and he has right if he says he wants to contest. So, and contrary to what people have been saying that, okay, he shouldn't contest against his political father, that's Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The stake in Nigerian leadership is very, very high, and we need credible people who can, take initiative and take adequate responsibility in the place of leadership to ensure that we live in Nigeria of our dream. So if he says he's coming out to declare his intention to join in the race, of course, so be it. Let him come out and test his popularity, and that's the beauty of democracy. It's just quite unfortunate, very, very unfortunate that in our own system, we place premium on money bags and and carpetbaggers. So, but if he says he wants to contest, of course, let him come. But at the end of the day, power still lies in the hand of the people.
This 2023 general elections, I think it has so many big wigs, especially from the sitting party APC. Do you foresee any ties or any, because the number of people that have come out so far for the APC, I mean, it's going to be like some sort of drama. Don't you think so?
Yeah, of course, but I don't expect the ruling party to want to go the way of autocracy or to use autocratic means, because this is a democracy, and there is no way in a democratic process that you will not have a tinge of disagreement, disappointment, and all of that. But at the end of the day, their willpower, their strong will, and their capacity to ensure that they bring everybody together and they pacify every agreed member. We come to play at the end of the day. Of course, in a democracy, that is normal. But at the end of the day, I think the popularity, somebody who is sellable, to the citizens, somebody who citizens, who can win the heart of citizens, who they trust, should be somebody, that the party will eventually fight, in the election.
Or to just as it happened in the national chairmanship.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. That story is on page 4 of the leadership newspaper. From the beginning, the very top, we see PNB governors rejoice with Dangote at 65. And of course, that's on page 12. And then we see burial program for leadership founding chairman's mother starts today. Besides that, we see troops kill 18 ISWAP terrorists in Lake Chad Basin. That story is on page 12. We move over, of course, to the next newspaper on our list this morning, and that is the Daily Times newspaper. The big story is 2023 on Daily Times, the front page. Why PDP must return to power. That's coming from RU. The writer says, George Wan's party says ignoring zoning will spell doom for PDP. Urges PDP national chairman to revisit state Congress crisis. What's your take on this subject?
Well, we run a multi-party system in Nigeria, and whatever PDP says, excuse me, that they want to do, they want to come back to power. So they will not impose themselves, on the citizen. So the citizen will determine whether they will come back or not. To power or not. But, you can see, what Nigerian experience, when PDP, was in power. You can see the high level of corruption. And, you can see that most of the people who constituted this party, who are leadership in the PDP system, you can see these crops of leaders also in the current ruling party. So now telling us that they want to come to, they want to come to power, I don't know what they did wrong that they want to do right this time around. But what I believe so strongly is that they will not impose themselves on Nigerians. Nigeria will determine whether they will come back or not.
Oh, definitely, I do agree with you on that one. That's on page 2 of the Daily Trust news, Daily Times newspaper rather. And then we move over to, of course, the Nigerian News Direct paper. The big story is 2023 presidential election. Hope rises for Southeast as Labour Party leaders lobby Peter Obi. And that's on page 3. A lot of election news this morning on the papers. From the very top, 2023 presidential race, Osinbajo APC governors meet at VP's private residence. And then we see unblocking SIM cards require SIM linkage. That's coming from NCC. EFCC challenges court order to release Obiano's passport. And that is on page 2 of the Nigerian News Direct paper. On the business day, the big story is trapped vessels put Nigeria's fertilizer production at risk. And that, the writer says, threatens food security. We do know that the war between Russia and Ukraine and the issues that have happened in the last couple of months have affected a lot of countries, and Nigeria is not left out. What's your take on this update?
I think this is just a kind of signal for us to take industrialization and production. Producing what we are, what we need, very serious, because if we depend on, external forces or external people, to be giving us what we need to survive, to build our economy, whether in oil and gas sector, in farming, agriculture, in sport, or whatever sector, we will not really go far, because it will also count on our GDP. And if we do not take that very seriously, there is no way our economy will not be stuck. So it is very essential for us as a nation, to take this very serious. And good one for us, just last month, Dangote group of companies, also invested in that very sector. And there is a plan that was commissioned by President Muhammadu Buhari. So I think, but beyond that, there is need for us to do more to ensure that what we need for ourselves, for our survival, to build our economy, is being produced by ourselves. And I think that we will really go. It will really grow better that way than depending on now that those vessels are stuck. So what do we do? Of course, we are going to be negatively affected.
Definitely, I do agree with you. So it's better to concentrate on manufacturing and producing rather than just consuming. And that's on the Business Day newspaper. The big story there continues on page 30. Besides that, what Nigerians want from next president come 2023. The article is on page 31 of the Business Day newspaper. We move over to the Daily Trust. The big story is Kaduna attacks embassies, international organizations cut off Northwest. We have a couple of riders there. 41 women, 22 men, 5 kids held by train attackers. Release BOE MD relieves ordeal. And then VIPs expatriate among captives. Families jittery over kidnappers silent. Soldiers, policemen take over Abuja Kaduna Road. Helicopter hovering. That's the big story there on Daily Trust. Continues on page 4 of the newspaper. Besides that, just underneath the picture of the day, there was a bandits attack Fulani settlement, killed 2, abduct 3. Taxi driver jailed 30 months for knocking down police officer. And Ramadan, we're given food once a day, Kaduna IDPs cry out. That is on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Don't forget to also stay updated on our website. That is www.tostvnetwork.com. And also make sure that you have our handle, always active and available with you, so you can like and subscribe at any time at TOS TV Network on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And thank you again for joining us, Mr. Osibajo. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, viewers. We'll come your way again tomorrow. Before then, stay safe. I am merciful. Ajinamo.